as a company, do you see the ESG sort of concept as very much linked together? That you think we need to treat that together because there's strong connections? Or do you see that evolving as maybe more separate, like the whole environmental part is so huge already and probably requires different strategy than the social or the governance part? How do you see that evolving?
Yeah, I think there are some quite separate elements within that ESG umbrella. It becomes quite overwhelming if you try to solve everything at once. But if you take, just say, the social side, then social license. Who do we work for? What types of projects do we do? Are we convinced that our clients are on a good path? So even if they're in an industry, for instance in environmental services, there may be a lot of pollution. We're happy to work with them on helping resolve the issue, for instance, and that's part of our social license through the community. So that has some overlap with what you may do on the environmental side, but we find we need quite a detailed framework covering each of the E and the S and the G. But a question from an investor may well be, so what are you doing in ESG? But a question from a staff member is, why are we doing this particular project? So there's quite a web of initiatives around this area.
Absolutely, and I very much recognize this sort of different expectations and demands externally from investors and employees, and they are often pushing that agenda, and it's great to see how much movement has happened there.
Yeah. But it's also really exciting because there's so much opportunity around this area, and I think the world is working out there's a better and more balanced way of doing things. So for us, that just generates opportunity for our business, and it's part of the reason I do the job I do, because you say, oh, climate change, what's happening with that? You know, what can I do? You know, we've got people who design glass of the right thickness so the insulation's right in the building, or how they electrify a network or do an offshore wind farm. This is very practical stuff. And I think with many of the issues around ESG, there's a lot of theory, high-level concepts, frameworks. It's all lovely, but we're not going to save the world unless we actually change the physical environment. And I think that's where the role of engineers and scientists is so important.
And I do love that, because we're in a business school and we sometimes have this tendency to make it a bit abstract, and we have a lot of theories and frameworks, but it's good to hear how concrete it is, and it's real projects, physical.
You've got to build something differently. Otherwise, you have very nice 2x2 matrices, but if you're still burning that diesel in that mine site, well, you know, the world's still got a problem.